Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on what to do after you quit pursuing unsuccessful pursuits. So, what measures should you implement post quitting pursuing unsuccessful pursuits? Without further ado, without further delay, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. First and foremost, before you meticulously research what pathway to tread down post quitting pursuing unsuccessful pursuits, before you reconfigure your life, before you recalibrate your life, you need to hone in on embracing health optimization measures, such as embracing a salubrious, wholesome, heart healthy, kidney healthy, brain healthy, anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, nutrient-dense, alkaline, antioxidant rich, anti-inflammatory, anti-glycation, raw fruitarian diet. Other measures conducive to optimizing your health also entail partaking in stress alleviating activities to not allow stress to remain unmitigated, as well as intaking vegan supplements each and every day in order to optimize your nutrient levels and in order to averse succumb to nutrient deficiencies. Furthermore, you should also partake in quality deep sleep sessions for a prolonged period of time every day. You want to be able to attain robust, vigorous, optimal health. You want to be able to manifest the quintessential version of yourself into reality. You want to be able to actualize your latent potential. You want to be able to move your life in a forward movement trajectory. You never want to be stymied, nor stifled, nor impeded, nor encumbered, nor obstructed. You never want to remain stagnant. You never want to regress. You always want to thrust your life in a forward movement trajectory. So before you pivot, before you implement profound changes in your life, do everything in your purview to ensure that you have optimal health mentally, physically, and spiritually. Ameliorate, aggrandize, enrich, augment, enhance, and bolster every facet of your health. Your health is precious, sacrosanct, indispensable, invaluable, and often taken for granted. When you're making these major life adjustments, you are going to be all the more poised, all the more apt, all the more primed to be successful in life if you have optimal health. If your health is ailing, if it's in a state of arrears, if your health is waning and atrophying, if you have poor health, it's going to adversely impinge on your ability to be successful, especially if you tread down a new pathway in life post quitting pursuing unsuccessful pursuits. So before you meticulously research what pathways that you can tread down to be able to reach your overarching goals and reach your higher aspirations, make sure that you hone in on optimizing your health. It will help you to work more productively and more efficiently. You want to be able to efficaciously complete tasks. You want to be able to bolster your cognitive faculties. Having optimal health enhances your mental acuity. It renders you all the more primed to be successful in every facet of your life. If your health is degrading, then it will redound to your disadvantage. You never want to succumb to ailing, nor insufferable pain, nor acute inflammation, nor ever want to contract a debilitating, lethal, perilous, life-altering, deleterious chronic disease. So do everything in your purview to attain robust, optimal, vigorous health. I cannot punctuate that enough. It is incumbent. Let's move on. So after you have attained robust, optimal, vigorous health, then you can meticulously assess which pathways, which avenues you can tread down in order to be able to reach your overarching goals. But before you do that, I just want to state that you should clearly define your overarching goals and studiously, sedulously, diligently fastidiously research what are the pathways of least resistance to attain your overarching goals. Select the pathway, cherry pick the pathway of least resistance. Cherry pick a pathway that you can most successfully tread down. Make a prudent, optimal, rational, strategic decision. Tread down a pathway that is most befitting for you based on your competencies, skill sets, and knowledge. Pick a pathway that you believe you can sustain treading down for a prolonged period of time to reach your overarching goals. Do not tread down pathways that you believe that you cannot tread down for a prolonged period of time. You do not want to reach an impasse going forward. You never want to reach impediments. You never want to be encumbered, nor stymied, nor stifled. You do not want to reach insurmountable obstacles. So, choose a pathway of least resistance that you can seamlessly tread down with the least amount of struggles, with the least amount of obstacles, with the least amount of behemoth challenges to be able to reach your overarching goals. What is that pathway? It's predicated upon what your overarching goal entails. There are a multitude of disparate pathways that you can tread down to reach your overarching goals. You're not siloed, you're not pigeonholed into treading down one particular pathway to reach your overarching goals. Choose the optimal pathway of least resistance. Perform your due diligence. Meticulously conduct research to learn which is the pathway of least resistance for reaching your overarching goals. And if you are unsuccessful at reaching your overarching goals post treading down that pathway, and if you do not deem it to be a viable pathway for reaching your overarching goals post treading down that particular pathway, then pivot to another pathway. You need to be able to ascertain which pathways are the pathways to least resistance for reaching your overarching goals. You want it to be a seamless process to be able to reach your overarching goals. Which pathways are the streamlined pathways to tread down for reaching your overarching goals? You will have to ascertain that on your own by conducting your due diligence, or I should say by performing your due diligence and by meticulously conducting research on viable pathways to tread down that can allow you to reach your overarching goals. So, do not be neglectful, do not shirk on conducting research, and render yourself all the more poised, all the more primed to be able to reach your overarching goals. I also wanted to mention that you should also partake in heart-healthy activities on a daily basis. Furthermore, you should engage in salubrious social activities. There's far more to life than just incessantly, ceaselessly, unremittingly working. You want to be able to optimize your house so that when you do work, you can work far more efficaciously. You want to work efficiently, productively, and not needlessly, gormlessly fritter away your sacrosanct, indispensable, finite, precious, invaluable time. If you have optimal health, you can get far more accomplished in a shorter period of time than you otherwise can if you have poor, ailing health. Acute, chronic inflammation, insufferable pain, distress, agony, anxieties, worries. These could all be major distractions towards allowing you to be successful in life. So, do everything in your purview to optimize your house, research the pathways of least resistance, and tread down the optimal pathway of least resistance that you are most apt to successfully tread down in the long haul to be able to reach your overarching goals. The pathway of least resistance that is optimal for you to tread down to reach your overarching goals is the one that you are most befitting to be able to tread down until the very end. That has the least amount of difficulties for you to overcome. By amplifying your knowledge base, by expanding your repertoire, by increasing your core competencies, you will be all the more poised to be successful in life. Do not underestimate yourself.